So let's talk about human trafficking. We today, youngsters, adults, we think that human trafficking just has to do with people from Mexico or people from the Soviet Union, because that's where it sort of became big. But in Singapore, in the United States, let's bring it back home. You have people who were brought from Singapore. You have people who were brought from Mexico. You have people who were brought from Jamaica home, that are living in the United States, who are working for individuals, not getting any pay. Sometimes where they're working, they're beaten because they cooked the wrong food or they didn't set the table properly. They're beaten and they cannot say anything. Why can they not say anything? Because if they do, they're going to be sent back home. And they're not just going to be put on a plane. They will call ICE in, and then ICE will come in, arrest them, keep them in a detention hole, and then just put them on a plane back to Jamaica. As far as young girls are concerned, and young boys, that is what we see happening today. And most of it now is for the sex trade. And it's very, very unfortunate because I mentioned earlier that these kids are thrown out. They'll work, say, 20 hours, and out of that 20 hours, they do not really have time to sleep because after they've got 4 more hours of the day, and that time is just enough to eat, sit down, scratch their heads, and that's it. They have no idea where they are. They may know that they're in the United States, or they may know that they're in Canada, or they may know that they're in Jamaica, or they may know that they're in Bangkok. However, those 4 hours that they have is just enough time to eat. Now, what happens when they get sick? And incidentally, while they're performing whatever it is that is demanded of them, they have no say. They have no say whatsoever. There are people who will fly from the United States, and this I have seen personally in Bangkok, where they will fly from Bangkok because they like little boys. And they will go there and do whatever it is they want. They will spend thousands of dollars. And after they're through, they get on a plane, or they have their own private planes, and they'll fly back to the U.S. And trust me when I say these individuals are sitting in high positions here. They're not the little common person. I hate to say this too, but sometimes you'll go in the churches and you'll see those same individuals in the church. I had one colleague, he said to me that this was when I lived in Palm Beach. He said his pastor, he was the security guard for his pastor. And oftentimes he ended up at, I guess there's a casino on 441. He would be there with this pastor all night. And then Sunday morning, he's back at church. So, again, with him, he had to fight. And when I say he's no longer in that church, and when I say he had to fight, it wasn't because of necessarily what the pastor was doing by going to the Hard Rock, but what the pastor wanted him to do as his guard. So, human trafficking takes all forms. It's not just somebody being a sex slave. It could be working in the garment industry. You know, they will take adults and little kids. You may have an 80-year-old person whether it be male or female, who has been trafficked against their will. So it's something that we all need to open our minds to. It's something that we all need to think about. It's wonderful, it's beautiful when we get up every morning and we take a deep breath and we say, ah, sunlight, sunshine. I can put my shoes on, I can get in my car, or before I get in my car, I can drink a cup of coffee. But remember that there are individuals, children, young adults, adults, or elders who would love just to get a piece of chicken, who wants to know what a piece of chicken tastes like, because they do not get that. Who would like to know that when they go out, they're going out and they will be able to come back home. You know, you talk about wolves in sheep clothing. That same individual that says, you know, you like clothes, I can take you to any store that you want. I can buy you any clothes that you want. And of course, the young girls or the young boys are going to say, sure, because I don't have it at home. So I will come with you. And this gradually happens. It gradually happens. And then it's like, have you ever been to New York? Bright lights. Manhattan, great. You know, 6th Avenue, you should see it, especially Macy's during the Christmas time when they have the ice skating rink and you can go ice skating. You've got to see it. You think your parents will allow? Oh, don't worry about my parents. I can go. They won't say anything. You end up in New York, and guess what? Never to be seen again, never to be heard from again, because you have now gotten into that little system where all people who are trafficked go. And we have to use our common sense. If it smells bad, it is bad. If it looks good, run. Run. Because it's not for you. And us men, we need to take a page out of women's book. The page that I'm looking at is a page that's called Sixth Sense or gut feeling. When a woman says, my gut says, do not say a word to her, man. Just listen to her and walk away. Because that gut feeling she has, it really means something. It says something. So I will conclude with that.